Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Shadow Cult Podcast. Yay, episode 41. We're almost there to the 1 year anniversary where, oh lord, we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, we got a smaller team here tonight. Myself, Scott, and James are here as Walter couldn't make it with us for tonight's episode. And our heart goes out to James. He's been through having a rough week, and we're just glad to see that he's doing a little bit better and that he's here with us tonight.
Yep.
He can vent all he wants on the show we had to watch this week.
Yes. Absolutely.
Great episode of Raw.
So, yeah, that's essentially going to be the theme for tonight's affairs. Tonight we are talking WWF No Way Out 2002. I remembered watching this show when it happened, and I used to have it on recorded tape that my brothers had forever. So yeah, this is gonna be a tough one for me, considering I saw the show plenty of times growing up, hadn't watched it in years. Now with older eyes and an older mind, yeah, you're about to find out why we called this basically an episode of Raw. So with all that said and done, let's get into the numbers. So No Way Out 2002, or should I say NWO 2002, took place at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Or Milwaukee for you assholes out there.
Which is Algonquin for the good land.
There you go. So the show had an attendance of 15,291, sellout with 13,484 paid. Live gate of $966,150. Pay-per-view buys, 575,000. When you look at it in comparison to No Way Out 2001, attendance and pay-per-view buys were lower, but live gate was higher than 2001. And then as far as in comparison to the rest of 2002, the attendance for No Way Out 02 was the fourth highest, with WrestleMania 18 being the highest. Livegate third highest, WrestleMania 18 being the highest, and pay-per-view buys third highest, with WrestleMania 18 being the highest. So No Way Out outdrew King of the Ring, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series in 2002, and we all know why, but we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But
to be fair, numbers were starting to go down after WrestleMania 17. So
that is true as well. But Scott, what food do we have en masse for tonight?
Alrighty, for No Way Out 2002 in Milwaukee, we have the NWO. We also have what? We have Hurt Feelings. We have a Hey Yo. We have Tag Team Turmoil. Steph's Boobs. We have ref bumping, chopping, low blowing, and graffiti. For the moves, we have a giant swing, one unprettier, one twist of fate, one swanton bomb, one Bubba bomb, one Lita Conrana, one 3D on the floor, one famouser, one clothesline from hell, one rolling thunder, one 5-star frog splash, one spinneroonie, one acid drop, I'm not calling it a Dudley dog, one Taz mission, one back superplex, one spear, one rock bottom, one flying Stephanie, we'll get to that later, one pedigree, one angle slam, 3 superplexes in a row, one lion salt, 2 walls of Jericho, one breakdown, and, I guess you want to be technical, 3 stunners. For the foo, we have guardrail foo, post foo, Nux foo, stair foo, announce table foo, lead pipe foo, chair foo, belt foo, and I think for the first time ever, 18-wheeler foo.
Yeah, thanks to that stage set. By the way, probably one of the most underrated WWF WWE stage sets ever. I really like the 18-wheeler set they did.
It's definitely one of the most memorable because you never saw it again, so it's a one and done.
They were actually creative with sets.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it also foreshadowed what would happen later on to set up a match at WrestleMania.
The next night. So, yeah.
Spoilers!
Yep, spoilers! Yay!
Yes.
But anyway, so before we get into the matches, we kick things off with the WWF debut of the New World Order. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan all returning to the company. And immediately their heat gets completely crushed when they come out and say, hey, we're not the bad guys. We just want to be given a chance. And it's like, oh, fuck this. Like, looking back at it now, it's like, you're Vince in storylines bringing them in to help kill the company, yet they're coming out there saying, we're not bad guys. We just want to be given a chance. You crushed their heat immediately. So right then and there, you knew that this NWO and WWF was going to fail regardless, because their heat was gone, because they tried to make themselves look like baby faces, and yeah. And look what happened afterwards. Basically, WWF just looked at the real NWO in WCW and how much it just grew and grew until it just combusted into flames. They're like, hey, we'll do that, but faster. And that's essentially what happened. So, but I digress.
This is WWE completely ignoring the past of these guys. I mean, they did not take into account that the fans remembered them from their runs in WWF at the time, especially Hogan. You know, it's like this is the first time Hogan's in a WWF ring
in 9 years.
9 years, and he's brought out in a package deal with two other guys that left a couple years later and left around the same time and so forth.
6 years.
Or 6 years. So it's like they completely, had tunnel vision and didn't see the grand scheme of the situation when they had these three guys here. Totally blew it right off the bat. I remember watching this first time, like, oh my God, the NWO and WWF, this is going to be incredible. This is going to be insane. And the promo was over. And just like today, watching, I'm like,
Huh?
What was that for? And then all the backstage skits that they did, it's just like, what am I missing here? Who, why, what, I don't get it.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
It's simple.
What?
Who? What?
And it also didn't help that also during the promo, the what chants were going on the entire time. So that did not help either.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Austin, for ruining promos for 20 years.
Yep.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
Two guys have ruined promos: Steve Austin and CM Punk.
Yep.
Austin more so because the what's 20 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly 20
Except,
years. Oh, God, I just
At least
realized.
we haven't had to hear it for the last year.
There is that
Thank
fact.
God.
Yes,
Thank God for that, man.
But it's partly Steve's fault, and it's partly the fact that everyone in WWE cuts the same promo cadence. So it allows those what chants to go in.
Knock it off.
There was plenty of guys like Dean Ambrose was really good at abating the what chants. Alexa Bliss was really good at abating the what chants. So if you got out of that same old cadence that WWE is so used to doing, it doesn't leave those spaces for them to chant what?
Yeah.
Like with Kurt Angle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Basically, the promos nowadays, it's, I'm going to talk, rest. I'm going to talk, rest. I'm going to talk. And on every rest, you hear a what chant.
And why are they resting? Because they're thinking about the next line. Yeah. Instead of letting it come off the cuff and from the heart.
Yeah, like, look at The Rock. Like, you gotta remember, let's go back real quick to The Rock. Back when he was first getting on a roll on the mic in 1998 during the Nation DX feud, he even admits he was still not too confident on the mic at the time. Like, if you watch some of those promos back, they are a bit stuttery. It falls into the, I'm gonna talk, rest, I'm gonna talk, rest, I'm gonna talk cadence. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the big question. If the what chant was existent at that time, would The Rock gotten as good as he did as quickly? Who knows?
Who knows?
Because confidence is a tricky part about it all as well. You gotta keep that in mind. But enough talk about the beginning of the show. Let's get into the actual matches. So we kick things off with a tag team turmoil for a shot at the tag team championships at WrestleMania. You have the following teams in order. Albert and Scotty 2 Hotty, Christian and Lance Storm, the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Billy and Chuck, and the APA. So you have 6 teams going at it for a shot at the title. So at this point, the tag division in the company was still fairly strong. You had a lot of pretty good teams. Of course, the one that seemingly was put together there was actually 3 teams in this match that felt like they were just put together. Albert and Scotty Too Hottie.
The hip hop hippo.
Yeah. Even though it seemed to fit, even though it fit later on, but in the beginning, these two were put together. Christian and Lance Storm, they were just put together, but eventually worked out with the Un-Americans faction. And then Billy and Chuck, probably the second big one that felt randomly put together in the beginning until they developed their characters.
They made it work.
And they made it work for almost a whole year, so. But I thought for this opening match for a tag turmoil, this was, in my opinion, one of the better tag team turmoils I've seen. It was
pretty
good.
Gauntlet style, yes, it was really good. It had a really good flow to it.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it dragged on at any point. Like each part of the match felt proper to me. And as far as the eliminations go, so Albert and Sky Too Hottie first eliminated by Christian and Lance Storm. Then Christian and Lance Storm eliminated by the Dudley Boys, or not the Dudleys, the Hardy Boys. Dudley Boys eliminated by the Hardy Boys, so the Hardys got 2 eliminations in this match. Then the Hardys get eliminated really quickly by Billy and Chuck, and then it comes down to Billy and Chuck and the APA. And of course, anytime you have Bradshaw and Billy Gunn in the match, when Bradshaw hits that clothesline from hell, Billy Gunn just sells it like a crazy motherfucker.
Ass over tea kettle. So, yep. Yeah, so I thought the format of the match was well played out. I think the teams that came in when they did made sense. Pretty good chemistry overall. I think most of the match between, like, when you saw the Hardys, Christian, Lance Storm, and Dudleys all come in, that was probably all see in the ring. We'll figure it out there. It was just all on the fly because they all have great chemistry together. And then Billy and Chuck come in and with the APA and kind of set it up to go home after that. So APA wins it, blasted with that freaking clothesline. You could tell that Chuck and Billy were still trying to get their footing as a team because Chuck is really all over the page here. Billy's a lot more set up on tag team wrestling in WWE than Chuck is at this point. Later, they would develop better continuity and chemistry.
Absolutely. And on top of that, too, I would say the best portion of the match would be the Hardys-Dudleys interaction. Like, of course, when you have them two teams together in the match...
Second nature.
Yeah, it's second nature for them two to go on and put on a great match within a match, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But in the end...
We do get the cat fight between Lita and Stacy.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
And we got a question regarding them, too, that we'll answer later.
Giggity.
But in the end... Oh, go ahead, James.
I wasn't saying anything.
No, he was just acknowledging the giggity.
Giggity. But anyways, the APA wins the tag team turmoil, last eliminating Billy and Chuck in 16 minutes, 38 seconds.
Which kind of, in the end, didn't really matter because it ended up being a 4-way tag match at WrestleMania.
And on top of that, Billy and Chuck would get the tag titles shortly after this show. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It tells you.
And it'll tell us more when we get to the tag title match later. But the next match on the show, a bit of an oddball match when you think about it. Rob Van Dam versus Goldust. So Goldust came back a month prior, so around the Royal Rumble as Goldust.
It was at the Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble, Goldust returns, or Dustin Rhodes returns as Goldust after spending less than 3 years away from the company and in WCW, and he's back. And I honestly don't remember the storyline heading into this match between these two, other than what they shown before the match happened, with Goldust doing this promo on the Tron on RVD and then sneaking up and attacking him. It's like, what was the story here? Like, I don't remember.
He was back to cutting the movie quotes like he did when he first was Goldust.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, this is the third run.
Yes. Oh, yes. Zev Bellringer 2020.
Nice. Yeah, this is the third run of Goldust in the company. And, Dustin had left, went to WCW. They folded. Dusty started a new promotion called Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling, and Dustin was helping work down there, too. Didn't really do much of anything. I had a friend of mine who actually got to work a couple of those shows. And then eventually, it's 2002. There's no other promotions at this point yet, so it's like, okay, bring everybody in. But February 2002 is the first show of Ring of Honor, so we start to see the development of new companies starting to come out of the woodwork and start to develop new talent for careers that would eventually go on to WWE.
Yep. But for this match between Goldust and RVD, I thought this match was actually a pretty damn good match between these two. It's like, you would think Goldust and RVD, that doesn't sound like something that would match up too well, but it turned out that they worked together perfectly. It was a
Dustin
really
the better matches on the night.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
for me too, definitely. Yeah, Dustin had the wherewithal and the knowledge to know how he could accentuate RVD's strengths and hide his weaknesses, because, as good as RVD is at certain things, there's certain aspects of him as a worker that just never got any better. His transitions have never been great. Sometimes selling is a little bit of a question with him, sometimes overdoing it. And you have to just play up to what Rob does. You have to have Rob's match. So it's like, oh, kick here, flip here, RVD thing, so, and Dustin does a great job of weaving. Thank you. Dustin does a great job of weaving everything together and pulls out a hell of a match leading up to the big finish.
Yep. And in the end, Rob Van Dam defeated Goldust in 11 minutes, 8 seconds. And I believe it was either before or after this match we get the first NWO Superstar interaction with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they're all like, hey, look, it's Stone Cold, the Rattlesnake, toughest SOB in the WWF. And we got you some ice cold beer. What? But I ain't thirsty. Well, for later. Thank you. And then just walks off.
Mm-hmm.
So
let him pass, brothers. Let him pass.
Yeah. Which now
again. Why? What the? Why? We don't know. Stupid.
Yeah.
We're not bad guys. We're not good guys. We're the guys.
The guys. I thought of that too. Watching that first promo. Promo from 2002.
But anyways, moving on to the next match of the show, the first of 3 championship matches. And that's another thing with the show. Not a lot of championship matches either. So, first
you don't always need a lot of championship matches on a show.
True. But anyways, first championship match of the night for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Champions Taz and Spike Dudley.
Which I totally forgot all about.
Versus challengers Booker T and Test?
Now, Booker T and Test were tag team champions, if I'm not mistaken, at one point or another during the invasion. So that's kind of their connection. But Taz and Spike Dudley, I completely forgot, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, they were tag team champions.
Yeah, totally lost my memory on that one.
And I had almost forgotten that Taz was still wrestling at this point, because I had always thought, like, around this time was when he transitioned to commentary full time.
Right.
It's like, no, he's still there.
Yep. And just like the weirdest combination, because you think of the history in ECW, and Spike was one of the guys that Taz used to throw on his fucking head all the time to get over, and now they're made up to be a tag team, and Spike's the more over of the two of them anyway.
Yeah.
Plus,
they're roughly the same size.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Both like
pretty much
5'8", 5'8.5", something like that. And then you got to contend with Test, which is like 6'4", and Booker's at 6'3", and they fucking got to sell for him, which good for them. They sold, but man.
Yeah, only thing I'm going to say about this match is, just
it happened.
Both teams. It's like both teams. It was like, you have other legit teams on your roster at this point.
We're
all in tag team turmoil.
Right.
It's like 2 random as fuck teams. Oh, if you think WWE has problems with their tag division today by randomly putting people together, it's been going on for years, people.
They've been putting. I mean, just hell, even back in the 80s, they were putting people together.
Strike Force. Santana and Martel never touched each other. All of a sudden, boom! One segment, they back each other up. They become a team. They become champions.
You're a good guy. Hey, you're a good guy. Let's be good guys together. Hey. Girls in cars. Girls in cars.
They pass you on the road with a smile and you have to look twice. And you wonder to yourself, could a woman really look that nice? Girls in cars.
Oh, man. But anyways, in the end,
Levi's got gas. Levi's got gas.
Oh, I had gas before we started, believe me.
It's still there, probably.
And the
TVs are turning green.
And the exhaust came out with something about this long. Anyways, poop jokes. We got him. Anyways, Taz and Spike Dudley defeated Booker T and Test in 7 minutes 16 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Moving right along into the second of 3 championship matches on the night. For the WWF Intercontinental Championship, we have Brass Knuckles on a pole.
Bro, I have $1 million idea, bro. Let's put a pair of brass knuckle, because that's William Regal's gimmick. Let's put it on a pole, bro. The first person to grab it doesn't win, but he can use the brass knucks, bro. $1 million idea, greatest idea in the world.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Hey, but to be fair though, this is one of the better on a pole matches.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much, but talents of both Edge and William Regal made it work.
Yeah, even though, like, this match, it was better than the tag title match. However, I still thought this match was just okay at best. And it's
a little long.
It went a little long, and on top of that, there were a couple of close calls, like, especially that one particular spot where Regal's trying to lift up Edge for the powerbomb. He couldn't quite get him up, and they about fucking killed themselves. Like, that was a scary part of the match. So, you go back to the match they had at the Rumble. I thought their match at the Rumble was way better than this match, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever you're doing on-a-pole matches, especially with brass knucks on a pole, and not to mention, the, quote, legal brass knucks played no factor in the finish either. Which
the way this match went, you would think it was going to set up something for WrestleMania, because it was in Toronto, to have Edge regain the Intercontinental title in his hometown, but
nope,
it ended up happening.
Instead, he had a match with Shampoo.
Yeah, but, he has a match with Booker T over a fucking Japanese shampoo commercial. That, by the way, let me pull it out. The only way you could watch the Japanese shampoo commercial, like as if you even want to, is by playing this game. WWE Rush Hour. Yeah, it was on this game.
Very underrated game, by the way.
Absolutely. I still play it to this very day. I wish they would make another one, for God's sakes. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because you can't really make a remake of it. Make a sequel, put it on modern consoles.
Absolutely. And on PC. That would be awesome, and I would play the shit
on
out of it.
Steam and all the others.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the only way you could watch that stupid commercial. Was while playing season mode.
This match, too, falls in the same line as the Turmoil match, actually twice there. People bleeding out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Devon gets a busted lip or something in the Tag Turmoil match. Billy Gunn is bleeding from like the nose during that match. Edge gets fucked up somewhere and he starts bleeding in this match. So yeah, there's bleeding unintentionally, and the referees get annihilated this night. There's so much zebra killing going on, so much zebra hunting. It's ridiculous.
But anyways, so yeah, when I talked about the finish, so yeah, there was the legal brass knucks. Edge, well, it was Regal who got him, but Edge was about to use them, and then something with the referee happens, and then Edge turns around, Regal takes different pair of knucks out of his tights. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa. No. He used the power of the punch.
Oh, yeah. Power of the punch.
It's the greatest finisher ever.
Knuckle dusters.
I don't know which is better, that or Big Show's KO punch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, power of the punch makes the KO punch look like shit. All right? Because Regal had the power from up above, the power of the punch.
Ooh.
But anyways, William Regal defeated Edge to retain the Intercontinental Championship in 10 minutes 22 seconds.
And plus, isn't the power of the punch one of the most protected finishers that nobody ever talks about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow. Yeah, more protected than the stunner, more protected than the tombstone, more protected than the spear. What?
Yep.
Anyway.
It's a punch. It's a straight punch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on.
That goes back to the reason why in professional wrestling punches are deemed to be illegal. Why are they deemed to be illegal? Anybody? Why is a punch deemed illegal in pro wrestling? Because it's one of the fakest things in pro wrestling. If you can't throw a good punch, it's obviously going to seem fake.
Yeah.
So let's make it illegal so nobody does it. Then when they do it, make sure it's somebody who knows how to work it right, like Regal. That's why it's illegal.
Nice fucking
The more
rhyme
you know.
there. Nice fucking rhyme, Scott. You should get yourself a fucking Dr. Seuss book.
'Tis I am a poet, and you know it, bitch.
Okay.
New t-shirt.
New t-shirt. Jackass. I'm a poet, and I know it, bitch.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I'd say eventually we need to make some Shadow Cult merch. The logo shirt, the Jackass shirt, and now that. Oh, my Lord.
You gotta get to at least triple digits before we even think of maybe potentially having.
I'd book it. Stuff. You know it, girl. Well, we are at 70 subscribers now. 30 short.
We're 30 short, so we're getting there.
We're getting there.
And once we get there, we'll consider merch.
There you go. You're getting there, though.
Yes. Now we're into the big three matches of the night. First, Undertaker versus The Rock, and the good promo package, even though the story of heading into this match was a little odd. You know, The Rock just simply says something about Undertaker getting eliminated by Maven.
You got eliminated by Maven.
And then Taker being
you got eliminated by a rookie. You suck.
And then Undertaker this is during his respect me time, where he demands respect and wants to beat the respect out of anybody in his way, and The Rock happens to be the target. Now, the match itself...
Rock cost Undertaker the hardcore title.
Yeah, to Maven. But this match, as far as Taker-Rock matches go, for me, this was the best match these two had, but it's not really
saying much.
I really love this match. I really enjoyed this match. So.
See, when I think of Undertaker versus Rock, they've had very similar opponents that they had classic matches against. But you put Undertaker and Rock together, they never had that one match. You're like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. This was probably the best of all of them, which is good, but...
Yeah, I mean, for a fight, it's a great fight. It's a great brawl. You get aspects of everybody. Rock sells his ass off for Taker, and Taker beats the shit out of him, even going so far as getting the lead pipe, waiting for the referee to come out, so he can give him the Iggy and throw him in the goddamn stairs. But they take it all around the building. They go through the doors. They come back through the doors and everything. And did you see the one lady lose her shit when The Rock was like, he got crotched on the guardrail? And there's one lady wearing a Dead Man Inc. t-shirt. Oh, some like mom person with a goddamn camera. And she like falls over The Rock and she's crying like, oh my God. I never touched anyone like you. It's just ridiculous.
Easy, big fella. Easy,
big fella.
Hey.
And by the way, hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Hey, yo. The Rock's eyes are up here.
You guys wrestling. Michelle's going to watch Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Anyways, then we get to the closing stages of the match. Undertaker goes out to the bike, pulls out the lead pipe, wanted to use it on The Rock, but out comes Ric Flair, because earlier in the night, Ric Flair was talking all about the NWO, and then Taker coming out. You don't need to worry about the NWO, you should worry about me. And setting up their match for WrestleMania. Flair comes out, pounces on Taker a little bit, chops him, but then Taker just fucking knocks the shit out of him. And then Taker gets in, wants to use the lead pipe, but doesn't get to hit The Rock with it. And then Taker's about ready to go for Tombstone. Flair, pipe right to the face. Rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. The Rock defeats The Undertaker in 17 minutes, 25 seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's the first match with run-ins.
Yep. And now up next, the penultimate match of the night. Number 1 contendership for the undisputed WWF Championship with Stephanie McMahon as the referee.
And her boobs.
Yeah, Triple H versus Kurt Angle. And of course, another good promo package heading into this match with Triple H coming back after the quad injury to win the Rumble, last eliminating Kurt. Kurt wants another crack at Triple H. Meanwhile, Stephanie trying to get back with Triple H, but Triple H is like, I'm on my own. I'm trying to do my own thing. We must renew our wedding vows. No. Ugga. I'm pregnant!
No, I don't wanna.
And then, of course, it leads...
See you for who you really
are. A no good lying bitch.
bitch.
One of the best lines ever.
The face that Stephanie
Probably
had,
Stephanie's most famous face.
Ever pissed off a woman, that is the face you see.
They milked that face for all it was worth, and I don't mean that in a sexual manner, but it really,
It is.
yeah.
Hear the lion roar, like that. It's pretty accurate.
It is. Yeah, I've heard it.
But so wow, does Stephanie look hot in that referee outfit?
Oh yeah, she does.
Boobs.
Yeah,
boob.
but
Thingies.
Check it out. But we get the match, and of course, we get the. Anyways,
melons.
My brain.
Tatas.
Now I've got Stephanie and Zev's boobs on my mind now. Not that it's a bad thing for any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, go ahead. What is this a show? What's going on?
Yeah, you can tell we're men here, folks.
Got distracted. Sorry.
Anyways,
that's none of my business.
But with the star of the match, yeah, it was all the Stephanie biasness towards Kurt. But then once they took Stephanie out and they got Tim White in there, the match really picked up, and this was a really damn good match between these two.
It's Kurt versus Triple H.
Exactly.
What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a no-brainer.
A no-brainer.
And kudos to Stephanie. Kudos to Stephanie for taking that freaking back bump over the ropes there. God damn, she flew out of there fast.
Yeah.
Except, quite honestly, who could have put a Kurt Angle action figure in this? Kurt didn't mean a fucking thing in this.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, as good as this match was, it was ultimately about Triple H and Steph rather than Kurt.
Similar to the WrestleMania main event.
You could have put anybody else. Yeah, like you said, Kurt was a non-factor. You put anybody else in that slot there. I mean, they have a good match. It's nothing out of the ordinary or crazy fantastic, in my opinion. But it is what it is. They got instant chemistry, and it just goes from there. Stephanie was the whole storyline. So
yeah. But then later in the match, Stephanie comes back out after Tim White gets knocked over, and then she gets crushed into the corner. Then they're both down, and after Triple H hits a pedigree the first time, Tim White 1, 2, Stephanie elbows him right in the side and then kicks him in the balls. And then we get the end where Triple H is about ready to pedigree Steph, and then Kurt with the chair, Angle slam, 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle defeats Triple H to become number 1 contender for all of 24 hours in 14 minutes, 39 seconds. So ultimately, this match meant nothing.
It was a good match, but it meant absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. Because you knew Triple H was going to WrestleMania.
Yeah, and also the next night on Raw, they did the rematch in which Triple H got his shot back anyways.
Right.
So...
Title opportunity, not shot. God damn it, Braun.
Did you know, by the way, that there's still belts at this point?
Yeah.
They're still calling them championship belts. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The
good old days.
But
belts and title shots don't exist.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, and then before the main event, couple of things. We go to WWF New York with Mr. Perfect. The more I think about with Mr. Perfect and the company at this time, the more it makes me wish we could have gotten Mr. Perfect Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. For God's sakes.
If you want to see Mr. Perfect's run in 2002, go to a YouTube channel, Marky D123. He went through all of Mr. Perfect's 2002 run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good resource to check out.
It's not like this run. It started off good at the Rumble, and
it flops down fast. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I beat Brock Lesnar 13,000 feet in the air.
Yeah. If only the time machine was invented, I can go back in time and go into the fucking production meetings prior and be like, I got a great idea. How about we put Mr. Perfect versus Kurt Angle? You got a money match right there. I love it.
And then they would have said, "Who the fuck is this
guy?"
And then I would have said,
Bye.
I'm from the future, and I'm here to tell you you're making a big mistake.
Love it, hate it, hate it,
love it, hate it,
love it,
hate
it. Hit the button.
But anyways, after that, then we get
going in this production meeting.
Anyways, and then after that, we get the second NWO interaction with The Rock. Hey, picture for my son? Sure, why not?
It's my son's favorite wrestler.
Yeah. And then, of course, The Rock roasting and toasting the three. Chico, Razor Ramon. Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and shove it straight up your candy ass!
Yeah. But with all that said, now on to the main event, the third and final championship match of the night for the undisputed WWF Championship. Champion Chris Jericho defending against Stone Cold Steve Austin. If the network didn't censor out Feel So Numb by Rob Zombie, this would have been a better promo package.
The song they used is horrible.
Yeah.
That's why I avoid the network and I watch my live versions. I get all the music.
Good man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that music was horrible.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that. That was not the music they used. It was
Rob Zombie.
Punk music and everything. Yeah, it was Rob Zombie. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, that's horrible. It's not as bad as the shitty music they use for New Jack's entrances and ECW pay-per-views when you beat everybody up. That fucking sack of shit for your ears. But man, it's bad.
Yeah.
And this match is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
This was at a point where Austin was like, he was on autopilot.
Yeah, he was losing momentum.
Austin did not give a shit at this point because it was only a month after this where he walked out the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's chops and chops and chops and ram his head. You see fucking Austin is like corpsing there. He's laughing as he's ramming Jericho's head into every goddamn turnbuckle there, a la Mr. Perfect, by the way. And then Jericho starts doing the chops. And then we'll fall out of the ring. And then we'll go back in the ring. And then we'll do like I said, did 3 fucking superplexes in a row. It tells you right there that Steve's like checked out. I'm just going to do the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just a representation of Jericho's undisputed run.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's like, and Austin and Jericho before this had good chemistry. They had a really good match at Vengeance for the title a couple months prior. They had an amazing match on SmackDown, I believe, back in June before King of the Ring. So you knew these two were capable of putting on great matches together. It's just, like Austin's momentum was just slipping at this point. He didn't care. Jericho being the champion.
Give me a beer and I'll do the same shit. What? Mm-hmm. I said, give me a beer and I'll do the same shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, and also it doesn't help that this match went on way too long, like 5-10 minutes too long. And it's funny.
24 minutes long.
Yeah, and this match, the match, to call this match a disappointment would be an understatement because, this match went long. Their match at Vengeance was shorter than this, and it was way better. Way better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, of course, you get the end. The NWO come out for the second run-in of the night, I believe, and come in and cost Austin. And Jericho retains in 21 minutes, 33 seconds. And then more beatdown of Austin from the NWO with the NWO spray paint to end the show.
You're thinking this is going to be the start of Hogan Austin, which did not get. We got Hogan Rock instead.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a debate for another day. What should have happened for
Yes.
WrestleMania 18.
Hey, what should have happened happened, and I'm happy with that. I saw it live.
Hell yeah.
The best match I ever saw in my life. So, hell yeah. And plus, like you were saying, James, this is when Austin is checked out. You know, he has just had it. He's not focused. He can't get his game together again. And that's probably another reason why we never got Austin Hogan. And it wound up being The Rock. And it was Austin and Hall in a three-tier.
I ain't doing that job for that son bitch. He ain't gonna do a job for me, so fuck it. I ain't gonna do shit. I don't care. Give me a beer. What?
Yeah. And then who they pair him up with? The guy who can't drink, who's taking medication that if you drink alcohol makes you sick. So it's like, yeah, then let's lock him in a freaking cooler and pour beer on him and all that shit. Yeah, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So overall, No Way Out 2002, as James said, great episode of Raw, but as a pay-per-view, it was
This was a special 3-hour episode of Raw. It'd have been a great Raw.
Yeah.
But you put it on pay-per-view for $34.95 or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't completely terrible,
but it wasn't that good either. It was just a run-of-the-mill show. It left a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
It had more questions than answers afterwards. Like, what's going to happen next? Tune into Raw tomorrow night. And
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sometimes pay-per-views led you to the Raws, and then sometimes Raws and SmackDowns led you to the pay-per-views.
Yeah. But now on to best or favorite, least favorite, and sleepers.
Least favorite sleeper.
For me, favorite match, I'm gonna give it to Kurt Angle, Triple H. Least favorite, Jericho, Austin. Sleeper, I'm gonna go RVD, Goldust. Scott.
My favorite match was Rock and Undertaker. I thought it was a hell of a brawl. It's not as overly booked as the other two matches are. It's overbooked. Don't misunderstand me, but not as bad as Triple H and Angle and the main event. But yeah, it was a great brawl, great fight between the two of them. Least favorite tag title and sleeper definitely for me, Goldust RVD. That was a really good match that should get a little bit more attention, I think, especially in the career of Rob Van Dam.
James.
Yeah, favorite was Undertaker and Rock. Least favorite was the tag title, and sleeper was Goldust Rob Van Dam.
Mm-hmm. There you go, man.
And now, Push Job Endeavor. What do we got for it this week?
Dude, who else should it be? Hogan, Hall, Nash.
Well, Push, Hogan, Job, Nash, Endeavor, Hall.
All right, James.
Push, Hogan, Job, Nash, Endeavor, Hall.
Jeez, because I push Hogan, I endeavor Nash because he's going to get hurt. And I would job Hall because he can at least still put some good matches on TV. Don't pair him with Austin. Put him with some other people. Put him with some other talent out there. So,
I mean, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter who you put in the job in the Endeavor with the outsiders because they don't give a shit. Just pay us.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll put everybody over. Don't.
Like it's supposed to be.
It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fucking marks, dude.
Yeah.
Even though they're saying in the promo, we're just a bunch of marks. We're fans.
Yeah.
But obviously, you push Hogan at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's going to eventually get the belt, so...
Right. And that's why I said, screw it, let's just do these three, because Hogan's the easy one, but it's like Hall and Nash. All right, get rid of Hall. Okay, yeah, you could see why. You get rid of Nash, too, but who's he going to work with at that time? So it's like, well, I think Hall's a little bit more adaptable to other people on their roster in 2002. So, yeah, it would have been good if you could have had a Hall-Kurt Hennig run. You know? And you could go all the way back to the AWA with those two for history if you needed to.
Hey, all you people who know 80s wrestling, yeah, these guys were tag team partners back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kurt Hennig and Big Shot Hall.
Yeah, and I just
That's the Rock Rumble.
Oh man. Oh god.
But yeah, the reason I say Endeavor Hall is because he's gonna be gone from the company in a few months, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nash, yeah, you keep him around, but yeah, he's just gonna tear his quad.
Yeah, exactly. So,
whereas Hogan, he's gonna be around a while. So there you go.
Yep, have another run.
And the thing of it is, you mentioned him winning the belt. That wasn't even the plan.
Nope.
Because Triple H insisted on, you know what? I want to put him over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just won the title, and yeah, I had my big moment. Hogan's more over. People care more about Hogan right now. I'm going to put him over.
Yep. And we all know I'm going to go heel again, so what's the point of delaying the inevitable?
But yeah, I've always tried to figure out what were the original plans about around that time with
Triple H and Undertaker were going to have a match at Backlash. That was the original plan. Then they changed everything around and moved them to King of the Ring.
Yeah, and that match...
Yeah.
My brother was at that show.
Triple H was hurt at the time and had to work around all that.
Yeah. But speaking of our push job endeavor, Russell Ryan Reeves says the same thing as James and I. Push Hogan, job Nash, Endeavor Hall. Ricky, on the other hand, push Hall, job Nash, Endeavor Hogan.
Wow.
Put all your bias aside on that one.
Hey, it's all opinion here.
Yeah,
so
but
that's what he wants to do. Hey, fine.
Could you trust Hall in some sort of a spot at that point?
Yeah, at that point with Hall, yeah. Yeah, that's the conundrum with that.
Well, but of the three of them, Hall's the least likely to play politics.
That's true.
I've been Intercontinental Champion 47 times. I put everybody over, so... No, I'm supposed to go over Jericho. Screw it. He'll go over me.
That's right. Didn't I tell you to go over? You mean you didn't like the finish? I didn't say that, but didn't I tell you to go over? You didn't like the finish? I didn't say that, but didn't I tell you to go over? That's Bischoff talking to Hall after he told Hall to go over on Jericho, and Hall had Jericho go over on him.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Get rid of me?
Yeah. But now, time to answer questions and chat with you guys and just do whatever the fuck. So, going back... So going back to earlier in the chat, Arthur Jones asked, who was hot in 2002, Stacy, Lita, or Stephanie?
Ooh, jeez, man. That's rough. That's a hard decision.
Can we just say yes and move on?
Yes, that's the answer.
There you go.
That's the answer. Yes. That is the answer, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, goddamn.
Anyways, Russell asking, y'all heard about Big Show in AEW? Who hasn't?
I know, it's huge, man.
Like, holy crap.
Shocked the hell out of me. I got a message from Walt saying, dude, show's in AEW. I said, no, he's not.
Yeah, then when I found out, I literally had this look on my face.
What?
Because you thought that Big Show was going to be a WWE lifer.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He's going to retire there and Hall of Fame, and that's it.
Now he gets to have his match against Shaq that's 10 years too late.
Yeah, do we even want that anymore?
No.
Thank you.
10 years ago, that was an interesting thing. Hell, they were supposed to have it at a WrestleMania a few years ago.
32, wasn't it?
Yeah. Something like that. And even then, it's like
33 or 34, somewhere in that.
Well, they one of those. The face-off in the Battle Royal, which I think was 32 in Texas.
Yeah, it's like, Big Show got in the best shape of his life, and, I can't do the match because of things. It's okay. But now we get to see it in 2021 when Shaq's like 50 and Big Show's near 50. And
But Tony Khan gets Booker of the Year.
And Promoter of the Year.
He got that too?
Yeah, he got both. Only Vince McMahon and Giant Baba were the only ones to ever do that. They made such a big fucking deal. It's like, 2,000 people voted for it out of...
Please.
Although Pat McAfee won Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
2 matches, Rookie of the Year. Okay. Oh, wow.
But it's like those awards. Don't take them serious.
I'm sorry. I'm just having an allergic reaction to Dave Meltzer's stupidity. Don't mind me.
Look, well, it's not his stupidity. The fans voted on it. It's just the stupidity of the whole making it seem like this big deal, and it's not really a big deal at all.
No. And I think Paul White cited that, the negotiations for his latest contract fell through. He didn't like the way he was portrayed on television during the Legend show, where he was just basically yelled at by Randy Orton and never got a comeback. Yeah. So I don't blame him for that. But the fact that he went to AEW, I think that's just like he was tired of the machine. I need something different. His NXT show flopped, or excuse me, his Netflix shows flopped. He had 1 season and didn't get picked up again. So it's like, I got to move on and do something else. There's still time, still time to go, still gas in the tank, whatever the fuck you say at 50. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Go ahead, make your money. And good for him.
Good for him. I mean, the fact that he's still getting paid after all these years. I mean, yes, his booking has never been the greatest throughout his entire career.
Understatement.
We can all say that the Big Show. We can all say that the Big Show is one of the greatest giants of all time.
Yep. One of the most adaptable, one of the easiest workers. He was a better worker with smaller talent than Andre was. Yeah, in his
and
time.
I mean, consistently more athletic than Andre was, because Andre was athletic in the start, but then you get to WrestleMania 3, 40 years old, immobile,
bad back, and everything else.
Bad attitude.
And but that was for the time, a different time frame when it comes to the wrestling business. But also Paul White, more adaptable. He wasn't the draw that Andre was, and hate to keep making comparisons between the two, because it really isn't. But always was, he was the good soldier. All right, you need me to be heel? I'll be heel. You need me to be babyface? I'll be babyface. And fans need to get over it. It's not his call. It's the fucking Vince's call when he goes heel and face. So yell at Vince.
Yeah,
Paul's just doing his job.
Because it just became a meme over time. Like, he turns twice a year. So
wait, he hasn't turned yet?
It's early.
Yeah. Not to mention when he came back in 2008 on No Way Out, he turned twice in one night. Came back after being a heel as a babyface, and then turns back heel by attacking Rey Mysterio.
The fact is, you have so many glaring problems with the AEW roster. You bring in the Big Show to be a commentator primarily, or your B YouTube show. Not even your A YouTube show, and not even Dynamite. Which, again, going back to the awards, Excalibur won Commentator of the Year. How? But, and plus, Big Show's never been a commentator before.
He's done.
Checked out.
Nice flop.
But
That's
bring him in to be a commentator on the B YouTube show. Not even... And plus, you're doing another show on YouTube, and it's like... You have this big a roster. There are still glaring problems with the roster. And we're not going to be WCW and TNA. We're not going to do all that.
Oh, yeah. And just now when I did that bump, I about missed my bed and landed on the floor. I was literally about, I just barely got the top of my butt on the bed.
Oh,
I about fucked myself up badly right there. So I had a close call just now.
Paulie's having a match this week, and he's going to sell for Marco, and it's going to be dumb.
Yep.
Sting's gonna take a power bomb or more at the pay-per-view next week, and
AEW, we hardly knew ye. Would you like a credit? I would, because I'm AEW.
Not saying that it's bad. Not saying it's completely all bad. but there's still, it's not perfect.
No, it's nowhere near.
Nope.
Exploding barbed wire death match.
Is this 2005?
And how are they even going to do that match in the stadium?
Maybe. Who knows? And what's the name? Isn't their name of their pay-per-view Evolution?
Revolution.
Great. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Take the name WWE uses for the first all-women's pay-per-view and just use it for yours. That's a great idea, guys. That's what you do when you're elite.
The elite. The elite.
Elite.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. Anyways.
Another news, water's wet.
Anyways, Russell asked, glad Miz is champion. Can you believe it's been 10 years since he last won the WWE title? I mean,
Yes.
The whole thing with Miz, I'm glad they finally pulled the trigger with him getting the belt back after all these years. They had to do
years too
something.
late, though.
Yeah. A few years too late, but better late than never. Because after all, especially after that promo he cut on Bryan on Talking Smack, it's like people have been clamoring for Miz to get another shot, and now he's got it. But
They had to get the briefcase off of him, though. Because that thing has been a fucking anchor for a year.
Yep.
Yeah. But now that Miz is champion, what the fuck are they going to do for the title at WrestleMania now?
He's going to lose it to Bobby Lashley on Monday. Then Bobby's going to lose it to Drew.
Yeah. Man.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And speaking of Drew, it's like, fucking, Drew's another guy. Everybody's turning on Drew now. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I know. It just so fucking fickle. So fucking fuckle. It's ridiculous.
Fick and fuckle. That's a good one.
Bianca's next.
Yeah,
Bianca's next.
Right. Oh, they're over pushing him. They're burying him. They're over pushing this guy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ricky just said Bobby Lashley is champion. Who would have thought? 3 years too late in this case. If Lashley does get the belt, it's still 3 years too late.
Well, this is the most solid he's been booked in quite a while.
Yeah.
So he got the
Best
stink.
He's
long
been
time.
booked his entire WWE run.
Absolutely. He's got the
That's
stink
even
of
going back to his first run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's got the stink of the Lana storyline off of him now. And her
Thank
business
God.
has done great business for everybody involved in the group. I mean, it's just been great to see Cedric Alexander kind of break out and Shelton Benjamin getting another run. MVP's been doing great promos, doing good business, and Lashley's become a freaking monster that we always wanted him to see.
He was in TNA. Like, he was
Yeah.
really fucking good during that run in Impact, where he won every belt, basically, simultaneously.
And would be like, don't want that one. Don't want that one. I'll keep this one. Fuck this one.
Yeah, this, I'm going to throw it. This. What are you doing? You can't disrespect the belts like that.
Who are you?
Now, if Lashley were to win the title and then somehow beat Drew to retain at WrestleMania, the only thing left for them to do with Lashley as champion is to bring Brock back and finally do the Brock Lashley match and beat Brock. Yeah,
And beat Brock. Yeah.
yeah, that would be cool.
And then,
but
honestly, just have Lashley run with it, eventually turn him babyface.
Yeah, it would do
break
it.
out of the Hurt business and go on his own again.
Yep.
Ricky says, but we can all agree, Fiend versus Orton at WrestleMania Firefly Funhouse match. Yes, it's bound to happen.
Or something.
Yeah, some kind of. I'd like to see something different. I mean, we've been the House of Horrors thing. We saw the Firefly Funhouse match. What's next? What's the next thing that they could come up with that would be something different? Playground match, you know?
Something. Alexa's Playground.
Playground match. Yeah, something like that. Something pretty. Just something different that we haven't seen already. No fire. No, subconscious attacking of John Cena. They could do a hell of a job with that Randy Orton. I think we talked about that here on the show.
Again, like I've said, I really want them to do a Drill Sergeant segment with Cena.
Right, that was it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and go ahead.
Whatever they're going to do, they're going to create magic. It's going to be one of the more memorable things on this WrestleMania card, which is looking pretty damn good so far.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't there going to be fans at WrestleMania this year?
Yes.
There may be.
Because they're at Raymond James Stadium, and you can't do a show there without people.
It's got to be.
They might have like 30,000. They might have
spread out,
30.
kind of like NASCAR is doing or whatever, or they did for the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah, whereas like whenever the biggest attendance I remember after everything last year in NASCAR, they did the All-Star race at Bristol. That place holds about 160,000. They had about 60 to 70,000. Mm-hmm. So I would say maybe close to 50,000.
I would say about 30 to 35.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just to be fair with that, yeah, that's probably overshooting. Still.
But WrestleMania is looking good so far. You've got the big money match in Edge versus Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You have Sasha Bianca.
Sasha Bianca's set. And, you got Fiend RKO. What if they're going to do Drew and Lashley or Drew and Sheamus or however they're going to work that around? What else is there?
Miz and Morrison against Priest and Bad Bunny.
Yeah, that probably will work. Asuka and I hope not Asuka and Charlotte. We already saw that.
Asuka and Ripley, maybe, or have Charlotte win the belt before Mania and Ripley Charlotte.
Give Ripley the win. Yeah, that'd be good.
Riddle and somebody for the U.S. title. Yep. Biggie and Apollo for the Intercontinental title.
You know what I think? Bring Aleister Black back and put him and Riddle in a program for the U.S. title.
Or they could do Riddle AJ.
Seems kind of a low step for AJ, and that's how Riddle came in to SmackDown before the accusations came out. That was his first run anyway. IC title Biggie and Apollo Crews. Yeah, because he's gone heel now. He's becoming Black Panther, by the way. So that's 8. Women's tag title in the How's Your Hole match.
You have the Raw tag titles, the SmackDown tag titles. Fuck it, just unify those belts already. Just make one tag team division, because...
Why can't they? Everyone's in the same place now.
Who's the SmackDown tag team champions right now?
Bobby Roode and
Ziggler.
Drew and Dolph Ziggler. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't fucking know it.
Yeah.
I know Hurt Business still have the Raw tag
titles. They have the Raw tag titles, yes.
But just unify the belts, have one tag team champion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Goes back and forth.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And Andre the Giant.
Maybe an NXT match.
Maybe. It would make sense. Like Finn Balor
and Cross.
Balor and Cole, probably. Unless they do Cole and Riley.
That's not WrestleMania.
Yeah, that'd be...
No, it's a takeover thing, yeah.
You do Balor and Cross.
Yeah.
They got to get that, though.
Have that open night 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ricky just brought up a little bit ago. Russell said earlier, I have a feeling Roman will win at Mania, but I do hope Edge wins, even if it's just for a month and didn't give it back to Roman. Either way, whoever wins, it's going to be a great match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would have Roman just win and have him keep that belt until next year at WrestleMania. Have him have a 1.5 year long title run.
Yeah. Then Ricky said for the WWE title match, triple threat, Drew, Sheamus, and Lashley.
Yeah, you could kind of devalue that. It's like multi-person matches are good for the lower and mid-card titles, not so much
for the world.
So they did the 4-way thing, WrestleMania 2000, and
they did a 3-way at 20. They did a 3-way at 30.
So it's...
They did a 3-way at 24. They did a 3-way at 22.
Yep.
A 3-way at 25.
So in that respect, then maybe they will.
Yeah. Russell then also said, I feel like Edge and Seth is a possible match for SummerSlam. Yeah. I would like to see that. Rollins and Edge.
Seth and Cesaro.
That's a Mania match right there. Cesaro and Seth.
Yeah, they're building that up.
Now the question is, what about Nakamura and Bryan? Like, what would they do?
Have them have a match against each other. Fuck
Might
it.
as well.
Yeah, put them together in front of fans because
something.
Yeah, because they had one match that I remember on television last year.
The Gauntlet.
Yeah, and they had one one-on-one match last year in front of no fans, and it ended in a DQ. It's like,
yeah.
Well, let them go out for 15 minutes and have the 5-star match.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And besides, that would be a good way to end Bryan as a full-time competitor by putting over Nakamura anyways.
Nakamura. Yeah, that'd be pretty good for him.
And I'm with you, Ricky, on this statement. Even though it's never going to happen, bring Money in the Bank back to WrestleMania. They were supposed to at 28 until Wade Barrett got injured.
Honestly, I say retire Money in the Bank for a while.
Yeah.
Because of everything that happened with this past year with Money in the Bank, just get rid of the concept.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because
give it a break for a while. Give it a break for a while and then bring it back down the line.
Give it a break for a few years and then, hey, give it a break for like 3 years, bring it back for WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or bring it back for WrestleMania 41, the 20th anniversary.
Of the first Money in the Bank, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Why not? Something like that. They just need to do something in terms of building contenders than just slap a briefcase. We'll figure something out later.
Because that's good for TV, but you don't have any audience at television right now. And ratings are the shits, so it's not drawing. It's not doing anything to help anybody out, really.
And really, like, if they were to do that in between, I would just bring King of the Ring back.
Even that, it's... King Corbin's been king for what, a year and a half now,
and he's not done shit.
They need to drop that.
Yep,
they need to drop that soon.
I think they even mentioned that the Table for Three with Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and William Regal. They were all kings of the ring and pretty much did nothing for their careers at that time.
Yeah,
Regal screwed himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Whereas at least like the last King of the Ring that did anything was Booker T, because he did get the world title shortly after.
King Booker,
like a lot of other kings, just
So Russell said I watched Chris Van Vliet with Mike Chioda, and it was good. I've never listened to that show, actually.
Chris is good. I think Chris is he's legit. He's a fan of the business. He's comes from legit news, but he's a definite fan and puts on great interviews. He interviewed fucking David Benoit, Chris's son, and was the only guy that David Benoit has ever talked to pretty much in professional wrestling at all in any capacity. So and had a solid interview with him.
He's good people.
Yep, he's a good guy. And he did go to Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze's wrestling school in Florida and got lit the fuck up by chops.
Shit.
Oh my God, he was hamburger when they were done because everybody gave him a chop, and then Sean, then Tyler, and I think Cassie, Peyton Royce, Sean's wife, gave him one too. And by the way, I'm so grateful Lacey Evans is off television.
Yeah.
People want to give Nia Jax shit. Lacey's worse. God, she's horrible. She just does not get any better at all.
No.
I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but sweetness, it's been this long now. You should be better than you are, and you're not. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, Lacey, pregnant, leads to Becky. When does Becky come back, or does she?
Yeah, that's the big question.
50-50 on it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she'll come back, but not for... I would say the earliest she would come back, I'd say would be SummerSlam.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe Surprise Rumble 2022.
Maybe.
That would be a good one, too.
My worry is that she's going to come back and it's going to be like the Edge comeback after the neck surgery, where you thought he was going to be the big babyface star, and he turned out to be the people resented him for coming back for some reason. I'm afraid that might happen to Becky.
Yeah.
Granted, it's all piped in sound and all that stuff, but I'm afraid
now.
it's going to be portrayed like that for now, because it's still going to be a while before we get anywhere back to normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Becky, in my opinion, she doesn't have to come back. She's made her legacy, and she
won the main event of WrestleMania.
Exactly,
and got to hold on to the belt for 13 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, could you top that?
No.
Could you do it again?
No.
I mean, just everything lined up properly that year, and she's got the baby now. Seth's doing good. She's doing good. So, I mean, hey, I'd say go out on top.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The WWE built the company around her for a year.
Yep. That doesn't happen much. Doesn't happen these days.
Even though it was a very bumpy ride getting to that point.
Yep, it was. But they got through it and they worked around it, Yeah.
But if there was still one thing that I wish they could do if Becky were to come back and get the belt back, Ronda come back and take the belt off her.
Ronda ain't coming back.
Nah.
I wish she would, though, because
she's another one.
I mean, she don't have to
top what she did her first year.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, personally, yes, because towards the end, she was only heel for like a few weeks. Like, we didn't really get to see how she would have done as a heel properly. So I'd say if she were to come back as a heel and be just the biggest bitch in the world and just kill everybody. That's what I would see them do.
She has nothing left to prove.
And they tried that with Shayna Baszler. And where did it get her? Resentful.
They booked her into oblivion.
Just one thing, the biting the thing with Becky, but Elimination Chamber, they booked her like a monster, and the crowd totally shat on her. It's like, all right, that's done. It's taken all this time for her to get any kind of resurgence, and it comes as a tag team partner to Nia, and where she's allowed to be a little bit more like she really is, a little bit more of a goofball. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, and then the other thing with Ronda, the other big reason why I wish she would come back is so I could see Ronda versus Asuka, because they teased us with that possibility at the Rumble 3 years ago, and they never did anything with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that would be an amazing match to see. Oh my god.
I mean, Asuka's starting to get at the point of what does she have left to prove?
That's true, and she's going to be 40 this year as well, so...
That age don't mean nothing, though.
Well,
she
yeah, it does.
Still go.
Yeah, it does.
She can still go, though.
Yeah. Oh, and then Russell just said, and after her fake comments there, she's pissed off a lot of people. Oh, the whole thing Ronda was saying on Twitter, that was all... Oh my god.
Character.
It was all character, and yet everybody bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And everybody bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Like, look, if she really hated wrestling, why in the hell would she be inspired by Roddy Piper? Answer me.
Did she say anything that somebody hasn't already said?
Exactly.
Did you say anything that wasn't true?
Spoiler alert, wrestling is fake.
It's a work, James. It's not fake.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
There's a difference.
You're talking to a man who's been through it all, buddy.
That's nothing against James. That's why Code 2 answered to everybody who says yes. So it's one thing we do in wrestling, and that's the fact.
But yeah, like I remember when all that was going on with Ronda on Twitter, and my buddy Raphael Leduc, he was like so pissed off, and I kept trying to tell him, dude, you're being stupid. And he kept saying, no, she hates the business.
You're being worked into a shoot, brother.
Yeah,
brother.
Holy shit.
Brony marks who have no life, who work to work and works themselves into a shoot, brother.
Oh, man.
And Hulk Hogan tweet that'll never get old.
Yep.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's like even the quote diehards should have seen through that it was all a fucking work. Like, seriously.
Marks are the easiest to work.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, holy crap. Ricky earlier, or actually Russell said earlier, AJ and Edge in another dream match. Yeah, and that was supposed to have happened last year, but because during the Rumble AJ injured his shoulder and he was gone for a couple weeks and they had to scramble, okay, we'll put Orton with Edge, or we'll put Edge with Orton. And it turned out to be a good thing in the end. It still worked out, but yeah, I would like to see
AJ got the biggest match of his WWE career.
One of them, I would say.
No, you work with Undertaker. That's the biggest match of your WWE career.
You got Taker's last match.
Like, that is...
I mean, I would agree on there, but the only other match I would put up against that would be his matches with Cena.
Yeah.
Just because, people were waiting for that.
Best competitive, that kind of scenario. But he got Taker's last match. You can't top that.
Yeah.
AJ's another guy. It's like, what more does he have to prove?
Exactly.
Yeah. He's a guy who came over from the Indies, TNA,
Japan,
and he broke through the glass ceiling. And who expected him to win the WWE title multiple times?
Mr. TNA.
A lot of main events.
Yeah.
And again, Undertaker's last match. When you think of Undertaker's last match, you don't think AJ Styles.
No.
But it was AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yep. He adapted to the WWE style better than anybody ever expected.
Absolutely. We're now back to Ricky's comment. He says, I'm still imagining the day David Benoit gets into a ring and everyone's going to chant Chris Benoit, even if you put a mask, fans like us would know who he is.
That's what he wants to be called. He wants to be called Chris Benoit when he comes back, when he gets into wrestling.
Oh, man.
Because that interview with Chris
Benoit.
Yeah.
It's his name.
Yep. And he wants to represent that. I mean, his father's history, legacy, whatever, career has been tarnished forever for what he did, and it should be. But David wants to save some kind of recognition for his name, for his family's name, for Stu Hart and the Dungeon and everything else. So I'd be willing to say, let him do that. And then let him and Brian Pillman Jr. form a tag team.
Oh, yeah.
I know they're a tag team with Varsity Blondes or something in AEW, I think, if I'm hearing that properly. I don't know who's Brian's partner is, but anything's better than Teddy Hart.
Oh, Teddy Hart. Remember that one episode where I accidentally called Gary Hart Teddy Hart for some stupid reason?
Yeah, and Scott would have beat your ass through a computer screen.
Right.
I don't know what I was on that night, I'll be honest. I was on laxatives and...
Zev porn.
Hey, that's a good thing, motherfucker.
He was dehydrated.
I was dehydrated and on laxatives that night. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Oh, but I was doing Teddy Hart in either the locker room or in the car one time with one friend of mine, and he wanted to kill me. I just kept doing Teddy Hart shtick and his cake.
One of the biggest wastes of potential ever.
You know it. Yeah, I was
maybe the biggest waste of potential in the history of the business.
I was there that night. He went to business in Ring of Honor, and I was there when he got kicked out of the locker room. And that was quite the ordeal, to say the least. It was my friend Andy, who was a referee for Ring of Honor at the time, one of the lower tier refs that I drove to those shows. And Andy was given Teddy's bag by Tony DeVito. So get this fucking bag out of here. And he didn't know whose bag it was. So he's holding it there. And he's like, what the hell do I do with the bag? This is Teddy Hart's bag. Get it out of here. Okay. And then he threw the bag.
Oh, shit.
Oh, speaking of bags and locker rooms and stuff, that brings us to story time on the show.
Oh.
So, classic Wrestler's Court story. back to 2006 when The Miz first came into the company and how everybody hated The Miz. Everybody hated him just for the mere fact that he came into wrestling through TV. And so yeah, that's a one-way ticket to Heat Island right there. And basically the locker room was aching for an opportunity to punish him at any possible chance. And the story comes out that the Miz accidentally got crumbs while eating chicken in a clumsy way over the gym bag of Chris Benoit. And it's like, oh, you done fucked up, boy. Gets taken to wrestler's court and is sentenced to not being allowed to change in the locker rooms with the guys for 6 months and had to use the toilets and even public toilets with people pointing them out like, is that the Miz? That must have sucked.
Yep.
Oh,
I love how they referenced that when he was like U.S. champion or whatnot.
Yep.
Building up the story to the beginning all the way to right now.
Yep. But a lot of people, I think, tend to forget before he was on Real World, he was in the $1 million Tough Enough, where he made it to the...
No, Real World was before Tough Enough.
Yeah, it was.
People forget he was busting his ass on the Indies
Real World was first.
As well.
Yeah,
Real World, Tough Enough, and then a little bit of Independence, then
he was in Deep South. That got closed down. He went to Florida, and then he got called up. Levi's on the hunt now. He's looking for information.
Yeah, because I could have swore Real World was after Tough Enough, but before 2006.
No, it was before.
Nope.
Okay, I guess I was wrong. 2001. I don't know why I had that in my mind. Like, because for so long I kept thinking he did Real World after Tough Enough, but before he came in.
They all kind of fall together in the same shit every once, at this age.
Yeah.
But
and speaking of that $1 million Tough Enough, probably in my opinion the most forgettable Tough Enough. I wouldn't say forgettable because, yeah, you had Pewter, who mostly got known for taking a chop beating in Royal Rumble 2005.
Because he shot on Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he shot on Kurt Angle like a dickhead.
He almost... Could you imagine had Pewter actually broken Angle's arm?
Oh,
legit.
Lord.
Oh, that chop would have happened in the locker room, and it would have been a fucking real ass kicking.
Oh yeah, he probably would have gotten beaten up to the point where Pewter would have quit that night.
There would have been no Royal Rumble. It would have been in the locker room, and it would have been one of those legendary locker room stories.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There would have been like 30 different versions of it. It's like, okay, this is what really fucking happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we beat the shit out of this guy.
And then, of course, Miz, and then the only other thing, Ryan Reeves would later be Ryback, and then, of course, in that Tough Enough, you have Ryan going on about his eating habits. Alice, no, dude, are those hot? No, I got mild. But you're sweating! I'm hungry.
One thing a lot of people forget, the Boogeyman. Who was 40, he kept saying 30, and it's like, no, I'm 40 years old, and they disqualified him for the line.
Mm-hmm.
Had he told the truth, they probably would have let him go, even though he was over the age.
Yep, he was in better shape than anybody there.
Yeah, and then also you had Drew Hankinson, a.k.a. Luke Gallows, trying to try out for Tough Enough, and the famous story he tells on Storytime, he's going through like one of those boot camps where he's in a 20x20 ring when he was used to like 16x16, and he does the run in the ropes but turns too quick and falls through the ropes, and John Laurinai's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I don't know.
What's wrong, kid?
And then he starts crawling through like underneath like the barbed wire fence thing like in boot camp, and his short drawstring busted and his shorts kept sliding. Don't pull your pants up. And he keeps crawling, and then his dick is exposed, and then does push-ups into the sand. There's a move we teach in wrestling called the small package. But I guess you don't need to learn it, don't you? If that was me in that situation, I probably would have just ran out and just left because it's like, oh my lord, what have I got myself into with this?
Probably the least memorable Tough Enough was that 2011 revival.
I wouldn't say it was the least memorable because during the show you had classic quotes. My favorite match was Melina Alicia Fox.
So that's all people remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Was that the one that had Sonya and Mandy in the class?
No, that was 2015.
That was the next one.
That's the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then you found out that same class, Shotzi Blackheart was in it. And she got disqualified because she had a heart murmur issue.
Yeah. And that was also
like,
Velveteen Dream before Velveteen Dream. He was kicked off Patrick Clark for being too cocky.
Yep. But he was like the only one who actually knew the business and had respect for the wrestlers and all that stuff.
And ZZ, who came from Swamp People, which I still can't believe that was true.
The fact that he came in like second place or whatever for the men, it's like
yeah.
Like that 2011 season, the only memorable name is Evilise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And then she would go down to AAA and TNA and so forth. Yep. And then what was...
And now she's in AEW, I think.
I just had the guy's name and I lost it.
From the 2011?
No, I couldn't even tell you the year.
Oh.
Hawk something. Bob Holly rid this kid a lot on one of the seasons of Tough Enough, and he just like...
It was probably season 2.
Maybe.
Season 2.
He had a lot of potential, and he could get it in the ring. He could do the promo, but he just had a lot of shit going on in his head, and he just couldn't, focus on stuff, and just felt like he needed to go home. So I can't. But Hawk was something to do with his name was Hawk. I can't remember the whole deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then in the 2011 season, that season was plagued with injuries. Like Martin got hurt, and I honestly thought if he didn't get hurt, he was going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that was Marty the Moth from Lucha Underground.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I felt like he was going to win it, but then he broke his ankle, so it was like...
Yeah, and then Matt Cross was in...
Yeah, and he gets eliminated in the second episode.
Yep.
Because he's playing it safe.
Yep, and then he goes to Lucha Underground, too.
Mm-hmm. And then, Ricky said, what in the hell happened to Andy Levine? Wellness policy and Bill DeMott and all sorts of shit.
Bill DeMott, just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He doing nothing and nobody knows he even exists.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing you see of him on anything is the Stone Cold documentary. That's it. So, yeah. Now I bet you they all wish they would have went with Luke. He probably would have lasted a lot longer.
Yep.
Maybe 2 months.
Maybe. So.
Yeah.
Remember the Tough Enough finale they did at WWE New York with Al Snow, and he had the chick and 2 of the guys. I think it was Matt Capitelli and John Morrison and the girl. I think it was down to those 3 or something like that. I'm probably remembering it wrong. But Al did the whole, sit down thing. He was doing that gimmick. And then he looked eye to eye with the girl. I can't remember her name, but she used to belch a lot. And then she'd say, I'm going to be a diva, which my wife still does to this day. And he looked straight in the eye of the girl and it said, John, sit down. And he sat down. He looked at her and she got eliminated.
And I don't
Lindsay, you can brush your teeth again.
But yeah, it's those early Tough Enoughs. I don't remember hardly anything other than
I remember the first season.
Other than Triple H owning them one episode, and then I guess the only reason I remember the 2011 stuff so much is because I actually watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it every week, and it was just selfishly for me because I just wanted to see Stone Cold on TV again. And one thing I remember going back to that time period of 2011, 2012, so on, when you saw Austin running the ropes and doing all the stuff in the ring, you thought, is he prepping for one comeback match against either John Cena or CM Punk, which honestly should have happened, but it didn't work out in the end. Honestly, it's like, I'm going to say this right now. When people... I remember that time period. 2011, 2012. This is around the time when I was first doing wrestling videos on YouTube. People kept on saying, like, oh, it should be CM Punk and Stone Cold in a match. I always said I would rather see Cena versus Austin one-on-one than Punk Austin.
If Austin was ever going to come back, it was going to be for WrestleMania 25. In Texas, they could have done him and Jericho.
They could have.
Yeah.
They could have. But I don't know, it's just something about, like, Cena versus Austin always clicked in my mind, you know, because that would have been, like, the perfect, like, teacher-student match, because Austin's Cena's favorite wrestler of all time. They both worked a similar brawling style. I thought they could have put on an amazing match one-on-one if Austin was to have had a comeback during the early 2010s. I would have rather seen him against Cena than Punk. Don't get me wrong, I think Punk Austin could have been great because of the characters and all that, but I feel that Phil as a match, Cena Austin, in my opinion, would have been better.
Austin and Phil.
Yep. Steven and Philip. Steven and Philip. That's something that me and my buddies always used to talk about. Imagine if wrestlers used their actual like long names, you know, like Theodore DiBiase, Psycho Sidney, Mickey Foley, or Michael Foley. Yeah. Marcus
Steven Williams.
Yep. Marcus Calloway.
Yeah.
Michael Hickenbottom.
Yep.
Paul Levesque. Well, John Paul Levesque in WCW.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Paul Levesque, Michael Hickenbottom, meet us at the Alamo. High noon. This is real.
Coquina Beware.
John Felix Anthony Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan the Second.
Raymond Hercules Hernandez. That would have been one.
Eduardo Gory Guerrero.
Mm-hmm. Terrence Gordy. Terrence Taylor. Well, they did that. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terrence Gordy would have been good.
Stanley Lane.
Robert Eaton. Robert Eaton.
They already did Robert Eaton.
They did that, yes. Earl Robert Eaton.
Richard Morton, although they did do that one.
Yes, they did. Jonathan Cena. Stanley. Arnold Anderson. What's a long version of Tully?
Kenneth Anderson.
Yep. Richard Flair.
William Goldberg.
Willie Goldberg.
Willie Goldberg. That sounds like an accountant.
Wow. Okay.
Curtis Angle. Lindsay just said Curtis Angle.
Christopher Jericho.
Christopher Jericho. Yes, that'd be a good one.
Oh my god.
Lance Wellstorm.
Terrence Hogan.
Terrence Hogan. Yep, Terrence the Hulk Hogan.
Randolph Savage.
Randolph Savage. Randolph. So many you can do with these.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Richard Steamboat.
Yep. Matthew and Jeffrey Hardy. How bad is that?
Virgil Rhodes.
Yep.
So yeah, speaking of like funny names on wrestlers, I remember
Jacob Roberts.
Yes.
Gerald Lawler. James Ross.
Patrick Patterson.
Oh my god.
Peter Griffin.
Yeah, Peter Griffin. Damn it.
Crap.
Crap.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god. Anyways.
Jonathan Bradshaw Layfield.
Yep. Walter. Oh wait, sorry, too late.
Fucking
Kenneth Omega.
Dakota Rhodes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Jonathan Moxley.
Matthew Jackson, Nicholas Jackson.
Yep, there you go.
Matthew Riddle.
Matthew Riddle. Jeez.
Alan Styles.
Alan Jones Styles.
Alan Jones Styles. Yep.
Damn it.
Raymond Mysterio. I know that's not what Ray is, but that's what it can come off as.
God.
Okay, let's just go through the entire roster.
Oh my lord! Oh god.
Andre the Giant Rousimov. That wouldn't have worked.
No.
That wouldn't have worked as much.
Robert Lashley.
Robert Lashley.
Uh-huh.
Andrew McIntyre.
Andrew McIntyre.
That's my brother's name. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Michael Mizanin.
Yeah. Damn it! I had one in my mind just now, and now it's slipped away. Montel Williams Porter.
Ronald Truth.
Ronald the Truth Killings, yes.
Yep.
Outlaw Ronald Bass.
Rebecca Lynch.
Oh, that's good. Yes.
Gregory Valentine.
Yep.
Roderick Piper.
Amanda Rose.
Roderick Piper.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nicole Cross.
Yep.
Nicole Cross. I like that.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of crazy shit you can come up with here.
Yeah.
James Uso.
Yeah.
Here's a retarded one, Seth Rollins.
Seth Ree?
What the fuck kind of name is Seth
Ree? I don't think there's a long version.
That's why I said it's the retarded one.
There you go. Seth Ree. I like that.
Hey, it's Seth Rollins. I got mail, yay! I got mail,
Robert
yay!
Fish.
I'm gonna go away, yay! Robert Fish, yes.
Yeah, Robert Fish.
Robert Fish is very good. Yep. What else is there? God.
Oh Lord.
Jonathan Gargano.
I was just going to say that.
Oh,
yeah, Jonathan Wrestling.
Oh, damn it.
We're just going to spend hours on this now.
Yeah, I feel like it at this rate.
All right, AEW roster.
Yay! Daniel,
even shorter midget.
Anthony Schiavone.
Daniel Severn. Kenneth Shamrock. Testicles.
Thomas Dreamer.
William Gunn.
William
Gunn. Yeah, we already said Kenneth.
Charles Taylor.
Yeah, Charles Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot.
Edward Kingston.
Oh, I forgot another one in WWE. Samuel Zane.
Yes. Samuel Zane, yep.
Franklin Kazarian. Jacob Hager. Joseph Janela.
Samuel Guevara.
Yep.
James Ross.
James Ross, yes.
That
Marcus
so
Stunt.
Weird. Marcus Stunt.
Mm-hmm. Marcus Alexander Stunt.
Matthew Seidel.
Brittany Baker.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Damn it.
Booker T.
There's so many.
There's so many.
Lindsay just asked, so when's Walter going to join us for Monopoly to wreck me?
Jeez. He needs to get the game, first of all.
Yeah.
Gregory Gagne.
Garrett Rhodes?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I thought you had something. Oh, God.
Hacksaw James Duggan.
Yeah.
Gorgeous James Garvin.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Yeah, damn.
Ronald Garvin. Did we already say that one?
Richard Rood. Curtis Henning. Uh-huh. We went the same place right there. You have Rood, you think Henning. I did not. I wrecked him just as good like later on that night, hon. Wrecked him and killed him.
I just cannot win Monopoly.
I know, man. It's usually the rules that just are not in your favor.
No. And where I land doesn't work out in my favor either.
Mm-hmm.
Go to jail, go directly to jail. Fuck you.
That's right.
That's essentially it.
Or income tax. Pass go, get 200. Land on income tax, pay it right back.
Exactly. That's exactly my...
That's the game of life. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's a different game altogether.
Hey, don't be a hangman, okay? Jeez. If you connect four, the strategio behind the risk involved of playing Monopoly.
Just make sure you don't get yourself in trouble.
See, I have a whole thing written out like this at work. I don't have it with me.
You don't know Jack.
You don't know Jack. Oh, I missed that game. That was fun.
Your
name is fuck you.
Oh yeah, Lindsay. What's the
what
one
happened.
play type we don't like at all? I forget. I think it's the property improvements. Because we just could not end that game for so long, and you'll. Oh, fuck the railroads! Railroads can kiss my shiny metal ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Aren't we talking about wrestling?
Yeah, we were, but
but Lindsay brought us out into this Monopoly tangent.
Around the Monopoly tangent. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Way Out 2002 was okay. It was a great run.
Yeah.
Let's bring it all back. Bring it all back.
The build to WrestleMania 18 after this was pretty damn good.
Yep.
Too bad it ended up being...
It's a shame. It's a shame we're not talking about that show for WrestleMania month.
Oh.
Speaking of WrestleMania month, what's going to be starting next week?
Yep, WrestleMania month next week. And actually, for the first time, 6 weeks we're doing for WrestleMania month. So we're doing
a whole month and a half.
Yeah, whole month and a half. So we're in order. We're talking 7, 10, 11, 14, 17, and night 1 of 37. Mm-hmm. Since we're doing the episode Sunday afternoon, the day after night 1. So,
yep.
I'm being forced to watch a show for the first time in a year. A whole show, not just a match from a show that I wanted to watch.
Well.
But,
it's okay.
It's okay. And there'll probably be fans there, so it'll feel like wrestling to me.
Something again. Yeah, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Yep, so we do that. So.
Absolutely.
It's good enough time probably to wrap it up.
Absolutely. So, but before we go, it's plug time. Scott, what you got for us?
Alrighty, sir. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Mr. Scott Reacts. Coming up soon on the channel, probably at the time of this recording, it's going to be up next week sometime. I have a proposal as it pertains to WrestleMania, so be watching for that video. I'm going to start doing wrestling content on my channel soon. Actually, I already started it this past week. Shout out to Dave Knows Wrestling, by the way. Dave Knows Wrestling does a lot of good stuff on YouTube. Kind of like what James does, too, with giving you summations of certain things. But he also gets a little bit more into what-if scenarios that I really appreciate. And I did a reaction to a video he did called How to Book a Proper Wrestling Card, something I have a lot of experience with. I did a reaction for it. I tagged Dave in a tweet, and he liked it, and he followed me from it. So thank you, Dave, for that. So definitely check him out. Real good guy. You find me on Twitter and Instagram, Mr. Scott Reacts 2, and I'm on Twitch under Mr. Scott Rocks. And I've only gone on there a couple times this past month. Lindsay and Levi have been hanging out most of the time and hear me jam on Metallica, Venom, Kiss, Pink Floyd, all kinds of fun stuff there. So please stop in Mr. Scott Rocks on my Twitch chat and say hi, please. And you also find me and Walter, who unfortunately couldn't be here this week. We're part of the Necrocasticon Horror and Metal podcast. We come at you every Monday with our friends Tom Clark, Skip Novak, and Dan Roberts. We talk about the latest in horror and heavy metal and more.
James?
You can find me on my YouTube channel at We Are Pro Wrestling with my From the Vault series. I'm going to be starting my WrestleMania month starting next week, where I'm going to be talking about WrestleManias 3, 17, 19, 2, 22, and 15. Then after that, I've got other stuff planned. But my WrestleMania season starts next week, and you can also follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
And then finally, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99. I'm trying some different things right now. About wrapping up Season 9 of Marvel Studios Cup Series, which Scott's in the championship hunt for, and he cut 3 different promos for it, a face promo, heel promo, and a jackass promo.
It's a bonus. It'll be a bonus.
I'll put that at the very end of the video when I post it, like, here's a blooper from Scott Groverston's promo for the race. I had a jackass. But yeah, they're wrapping up Season 9. I'm brought back my weekly Q&A show, 5 Questions with Levi, The Return. So far, it's been going really well, although I would like if more people would ask questions instead. I mean, I've been getting regulars, so to speak, like 2 or 3 regulars, which I appreciate, but I would like to see more people get involved with that show at some point. But already on the right track with that, as next episode's looking really good. Also back to the NR stuff I'm thinking about for next season Marvel Studios Cup doing 2 other series at the same time, kind of like what real life NASCAR does with its multiple series. It might be hard because every time I've tried this it's failed. Hopefully this time it'll work out, since I'm doing reduced on the 2 extra series. I'm reducing everything down so I wouldn't feel like, do I have to really record today? Also, you can follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch, as some of you guys have been watching on Twitch. ThrashManiac99, almost to 200 followers. Let's get there before spring hits. And finally, you can follow me on Twitter, ThrashManiac99. But real quick before we go, I found the perfect person to raid on Twitch. A good buddy of mine, 99% nerdy, fellow metalhead and wrestling guy. Met him through Mr. Daniel DK when we were playing Among Us. So let's give him some love. But until next time, horns high. We'll see you next week for WrestleMania! Just like that. Just like that.